The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
President Trump called North Korean leader Kim Jong-un a rocket man on a path to his own suicide. Now, President Trump had previously on Twitter called Kim Jong-un the rocket man, but it's a far different thing to do that from the venue of the United Nations General Assembly.
It is far past time for the nations of the world to confront another reckless regime, one that speaks openly of mass murder, vowing death to America, destruction to Israel, and ruin for many leaders and nations in this room.
This was a combative speech, one in which the president seemed to take other countries to task. He chided them. He called out countries for not doing enough on terrorism, for not contributing enough to global agencies, and for not doing enough to preserve the security of the rest of the world.
The Iran deal was one of the worst and most one-sided transactions the United States has ever entered into. Frankly, that deal is an embarrassment to the United States, and I don't think you've heard the last of it, believe me.
President Trump has approached his role on the world stage far differently than most world leaders. Instead of doing what a lot of leaders do at the United Nations, calling for cooperation, creating an aspirational view of how countries can work together to solve these huge crises, he seemed more focused on what countries weren't doing, on chiding countries and criticizing them for failing to live up to their responsibilities. Yet at the same time, Trump is calling for sovereignty. He's saying countries should do what's in their own best interests. And that seems to conflict with his calls for trying to work together.